Welcome to John Redmann, Power of Attorney, the show that aims to empower you through knowledge of the law. I'm Attorney John Redmann.
And I'm Shauna Sanford. Well, if there's one thing we love in Louisiana, it is football. And many fans, especially Saints fans, are weighing in on an emerging conversation about player safety, not only in professional sports, but also when it comes to kids who play sports in school and on youth leagues. One particular area of concern is the rate of concussions suffered by many players. Our guest today, attorney Larry Wiedemann, knows this issue very well. He's been involved in a legal battle between Saints fans and the NFL. Attorney Wiedemann claims the team is being used as a scapegoat for the league's possible past negligence when it comes to safety.
Attorney Larry Wiedemann will be joining us shortly to talk about this lawsuit, the Saints bounty story, one of the major injuries suffered by the players, concussions, and the future of football. But first, as always, let's get to the news.
Well, John, speaking of concussions in professional football, NFL teams have diagnosed 169 concussion injuries this season, and there are 5 weeks still left. Now, if things keep going at this rate, they are expected to be a record number of brain injuries this season. It really is a scary pattern that's emerging.
Well, you know, my history is a personal injury trial attorney. I'm very familiar with brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and every time I hear about concussions and brain injuries, I cringe because I know these injuries, they're very real, and they can sideline players not only for a game but for much longer. So we may be looking at an epidemic, and I see it mirrored in high school sports injuries on and off the school playgrounds, youth leagues. So we'll be talking about that with Larry Wiedemann shortly.
Okay, all right. Our next story applies to those of you whose home or perhaps businesses were damaged during Hurricane Isaac. You have until this Thursday, November 29th, to register with FEMA. And we have some information there for you on the screen. There's the website where you can go to get information for registering with FEMA. That's disasterassistance.gov, or you can give them a call at 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 3362. And this is, I think, the third time that they've extended this deadline.
Well, the damage was so extensive, it affected so many people. If you haven't registered, if you haven't taken steps to protect your rights, please do so. Don't delay.
That's right. Well, can you imagine being without your cell phone these days? I know, shudder the thought. It's just, you can't even think about it. But with so much of our personal and business lives being conducted with cell phones, it's not surprising that when it comes to investigations, law enforcement agencies very often request cell phone records. But is it legal? This week, a Louisiana court will take up that issue. Is it legal to treat those cell phone records just like regular business records?
Well, I'm kind of old school. The way I learned the law, before somebody pries into my personal affairs, my whereabouts, what I'm doing, what I'm saying, what I am communicating to somebody else, a warrant is required. In order to get a warrant from the judge, you need to have what's called probable cause. Judge, I want to get into Joe Blow's business. I want to know what he's saying. I want to know where he's going. And the judge will ask me, well, before I let you invade somebody's privacy, show me probable cause. What criminal activity is going on? What safety issues are involved? And you have to show probable cause. Nowadays, the courts, some courts are saying, you don't need no stinking probable cause. You just go ahead, do it without a warrant. And many agencies are doing it without asking any judge for a warrant. They're doing it without any oversight, and I have an issue with that. I think that the United States Supreme Court is going to have to finally decide the issue, but many states are doing it without getting that court approval. It's sounding very big brother to me.
Yeah.
And I don't like criminals to have free reign, but I fear worse, Americans being spied on by other Americans. That's an opinion, but I hope the courts address it, and I hope they look closely at our constitutional rights when they make their decision.
Okay, all right. Well, we will continue to follow this. Coming up next, attorney Larry Wiedemann joins the show to talk about his lawsuit on behalf of Saints season ticket holders and concussions in football. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.